A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... He landed in the Divine Dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation.
We're back. Did you miss us? It's finally time to go racing here again on a Monday night. Good old-fashioned truck racing from the Throwback race. It's the Bring Back Square Bodies 200K from North Wilkesboro Speedway. The race track revival is underway here at the 1987 scan of this wonderful Speed Palace. 0.63 miles, 2 turns and a straightaway uphill, 2 turns and a straightaway downhill, and it's all downhill from here as we get ready to go for round number 4 of Truck 200's third and final season of competition. Tommy Cook, Matt Williamson alongside. Partner, it's been too long. A lot going on in the last month or so, but we're back.
Yes, we are certainly back. You and I were just talking about how it seems like it's been absolutely forever, not only since the last Truck 200 race, but since just a race in general for us here on the channel. And we are certainly ready to be back in action, especially for Truck 200. But boy, it is a tough place to kick the season back off here.
Well, yes, it is indeed. Let's give folks a reminder of where we left things a few weeks ago after round number 3 at Mid-Ohio. Point standings looking pretty juicy.
That's right, folks. The last race was Mid-Ohio. Justin Michael sits atop the points. Gavin Sanders not too far behind here, only about 13 points behind the leader. Scott Patton sits in third. Brody Gunter, Mike Milfelt will round out your top 5. Those two very close for 4th and 5th. And then it's James Lehman, Will Weiser, Chris Howell in the top 8. Those are the fellas that would advance to the playoffs should it end here tonight. Of course, we have plenty of racing to go before that happens. Charlie Widener, Rob Haynes, Mario Capalucci, Brad Slagle, Caleb Bency, Matt Schlosser, Heath Smith, and Brandon Groover are the folks outside of the cut line at the moment.
It was very Max V top heavy after Daytona. It was a more healthy mix in the grouping after Atlanta. Although Justin Michael did win that race, we saw some of the Turn 200 regulars in the Venom Truck Series and elsewhere get in there and start to mix it up with the Max V guys. And last time out, Gavin Sanders takes one, I guess, for the home team if you're not rooting for the Max V contingent, which you should be. But now it's a lot more of a healthy mix. Gavin Sanders is in there. Brody Gunter, I want to point out, didn't even make Daytona. So he's moved himself into the top 5 in points in just 2 races, essentially, while everybody else has had 3. 2 podiums in a row for the 01 in his 2 starts. So outstanding stuff for Gunter. And Justin Michael did not fare very well at Mid-Ohio. Scott Patton's been quietly consistent this entire season. So has Will Weiser, who's coming off 2 4th-place finishes in a row heading into tonight. Both of the Weisers are back in action. We have our friend Jeremy McKinnon back in the lineup for the first time this season. First time in a long time we've seen McKinnon. He'll be having the 12 on the door, but 97 on the score chart. And the fastest in practice, the only driver not to set a qualifying time, Kevin Winker is here to make his debut tonight in Truck 200. So we'll see what he could do. All the way from the tail of this field. A lot of notable names way down in the pecking order here, but one driver that you should not be surprised to see atop the scoring pylon after qualifying is over is Caleb Bency, 5 times a winner and a reigning series champion. Missed Mid-Ohio. That's the reason he is out of the chase standings right now, or outside of the top 8 anyway. But Bency won here last time in season number 2 at North Wilkesboro. We'll tell you how that race went here in just a second when Matt gives you the track facts. But we'll give you the full starting lineup first, as it's time to go racing for 199 laps. It's the Bring Back Square Bodies 200K from North Wilkesboro, round number 4 of the 3rd season. And the pole belongs to Caleb Bency with a 1947. Then it is Hunter Engrav starting to his outside. James Lehman coming off his best career finish with Truck 200 last time out at Mid-Ohio. He starts in 3rd with Heath Smith. Those are 2 short track aces there on row number 2 from the Max V contingent. Scott Patton likewise there in P5. Brody Gunter has quite a few short track wins in the Venom Truck Series. He starts in 6th. Luke Peterson and Matt Schlosser, they are strong contenders in the Venom Truck Series at the short tracks as well. And Schlosser had a top 5 finish here last season. He starts in 8th. Mike Milfelt, Rob Haynes will round out your top 10. Will Weiser back there in P11. Kyle Zittel, winner at Bristol with the Venom Truck Series earlier this season. He starts in 12th. Steve Roman and Brandon Groover on row number 7. Stan Miglin and Dale Weiser on row number 8. Charlie Widener, Alex Muscarella, Andy Poliski, Dakota DeMay back there in P20. On row number 11, it's Brad Slagle and Cody Claiborne. Nate Siefker, the race sponsor here tonight, starts back in 23rd with Joshua Montechek to his outside. Jeremy McKinnon way back there in P25 next to his buddy Cole Maxwell. Gavin Sanders, 27th. Next to Peter Donchak there on row number 14. Justin Michael, P29. Did not expect to see that here. He has been struggling in practice as well. Josh Heggie will start in 30th. Then it is the driver who was fastest in practice, no time in qualifying. Kevin Winker, P31, will round out the field here tonight at North Wilkesboro. Matt, pace truck's getting ready to roll. What are the track conditions? They have proved to be tricky in practice. And what else you got for us as well?
Yeah, they've been very tricky in practice. The temperature has been warm. It has been cooling off a little bit since the height of practice, though. Currently at 104 degrees is the track temperature, so we are hoping it will continue to lower here as the race rolls along. We have 199 laps here, 200 kilometers around North Wilkesboro. The halfway bonus points are going to be paid out on the completion of lap 100. We had 3 extra sets of tires here tonight. Those are going to come in handy for the drivers, no doubt. No fast repairs. That's going to be a biggie here. 24x is a drive-through penalty. 32x is a disqualification. Those are special short track incident limits there, with some beating and banging bound to happen here at North Wilkesboro. Last season here we had 17 cautions. One of them... Yeah, only 17. One of them did bring out the overtime. There was 1 overtime restart, and there were 6 lead changes among 3 leaders.
And the driver that led the most laps last season, of course, that was Caleb Bency, 138 laps. Brantley Gainey led a lot of laps. So did Garrett Rainey. Those were your 3 leaders. Josh Kreider almost made it a 4th leader there on the final lap. But out of that group, it's only Caleb Bency here tonight, and he just happens to pick up right where he left off. Green flag is out. The throwback race is underway, and already drivers slipping and sliding on the throttle out of turn number 4.
Whoa.
A big shot from Lehman up to Bency, as from the outside pole, it's Hunter and Grab leading the field down the backstretch. .77 to P1. Bency clears up on Heath Smith to hold on to P2. We're still side by side most of the way through the top 10 and on back. Drivers feeling out this track, feeling out the trucks. Clean start here through 2 laps, though.
Lots of side-by-side here. Drivers doing a great job of negotiating it with each other and with the track itself.
Graham continuing to show the way. Side by side, earliest position right now is a battle for 7th. It's Milfeld on the bottom, Schlosser on the top side, and boy, Milfeld is loose, and he's going to go around. And Will Weiser just about got impaled there. That is going to bring out a caution. Even though everybody's rolling forward, that could have stacked up in a hurry.
Yeah, that was necessary caution. I mean, you had a truck completely sideways in one of the turns. He was able to get it pointed straight pretty quickly, but yeah, that could have ended ugly in a hurry for sure.
Hopefully Will Weiser is wearing his brown fire suit. He just about met the blunt end of the pit road entrance, and no medium-sized tractor tire is going to stop you from death in that scenario. Not on iRacing.
Let's take a look here. It was Mike Milfeld in the 155 that got loose down in turn number 3. Let's see if he had any help. I don't believe he did. And indeed did not. You see the rear end of the truck starting to slide there on entry. Trying to keep it straight. Got those wheels pointed to the right. Gets just a touch of help from the 400, but Schlosser does a pretty good job to stay away from the 155, and the 44 of Will Weiser just straightens out Milfeld real quick, and everybody starts rolling straight again.
But if he hadn't, that could have been very, very big.
Yes, very much so. But, I mean, pretty minimal damage, pretty minimal contact between Milfelt, Schlosser, and then Weiser there. So especially here at a short track, everybody should still pretty much be at full strength.
Hell yeah, brother. Cheers from Iraq. Hello to JJ hanging out with us from Taiwan. Hello to Bailey Marie Motorcheck as well. I don't know if we've talked to you since the wedding. Congrats. Can't remember. I think we probably have. Not since the holidays, though. Happy holidays to everybody. Getting ready to go back racing here. Doubled up. Coming to lap number 9. Hunter Engrave has led them all thus far. Caleb Bency will line up back to his inside as the 77 will take the top. Back it away. Smith now looking for the positioning here up top.
Bottom is good for a little bit. Top tends to be good in the long run.
Bottom looked a little bit dirty when you saw the slow-mo there. We've got big problems in the back of the field. Multiple drivers involved. Claiborne, McKinnon, Siefker, Justin Michael, Gavin Sanders, Joshua Motocek as well. I think Josh Hege got a piece of it. So multiple drivers there. I think it could have been worse, but some drivers with some damage here as caution number 2 very quickly coming out here on lap 10.
Yeah, Sanders was completely backwards. Had to get that one turned around. Looks like Josh Hege is going to come down pit road here. Couple others. That's Sanders there. He was backwards on the racetrack, so probably some damage to get fixed there.
Unfortunately, just like that, he's going to go a lap down. So the race is not starting very well for Gavin Sanders.
Let's see. It looks like Siefker gets in pretty hot here. Sliding the number 2 all the way through turns 3 and 4. He's trying to stay away from everybody. He does get up and up. I believe that's Jeremy McKinnon a little bit, but then comes right down the racetrack in front of Claiborne. Claiborne then up the racetrack from the contact. That's what spins the 99 around. You see Monachek involved there on the top side. Oh, man, there's the big shot for Hege.
When I believe, and anybody that knows, you included, is free to correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the downhill part of this track is headed into turn number 3. So you shouldn't have the same braking point as you have into turn number 1 as well. Carry a little bit of more momentum. Back end of the truck already is not very hooked up. That's an easy mistake to make. And again, everybody being vigilant, not making that any worse than it could have been.
Yeah, I mean, he just got in there with a touch too much speed, and at this racetrack, it's very easy to get those tires lit up and get yourself sideways.
So Sanders, Claiborne, Siefker get the worst of it. Unrelated, Brad Slago's been having some problems, I think, with his... It sounded like a software issue with iRacing, so he is elected to call it a night. He will be the first retiree of the evening. Unless we happen to see him back. But that's a big blow to the 052. Started the season quite strong. This might send him out of the top 8 here, headed into round number 5 next week at Darlington. So new man in P2 is the one of Heath Smith. It's still Hunter Engrave on point, though. Smith, not a great restart. Engrave gaps the field into turn number 1. It's now James Lehman around the outside to take second away from the one of Smith. Levency back to 4th. Gunter now challenging for that position to the outside of the 29. And Scott Patton rocking new colors. One of the drivers with a throwback scheme here tonight. Making fun of me running the Little Tree scheme. Of course he is. Here goes Lehman for the lead. First driver to challenge Engrave today. And Lehman trying to do it off the bottom. And he'll get it done. New man on point, it's James Lehman.
Yeah, he got clear pretty quickly there. Usually that is not how it goes here. But
probably not the best best time to welcome in Pamela Engrav into the stream, but Hunter's still fighting for P2 here.
I mean, Lehman is always very aggressive with his pace early on in these races. Engrav tends to do the complete opposite, so not a ton of surprise there that Engrav just kind of let Lehman go, and hopefully he's trying to get him to burn his stuff up so Engrav can have the speed later on here tonight. But with a lot of cautions coming out, might not work into the favor of the 77. We'll have to see as the night progresses.
Engrav had one of the longest runs in practice. He had a 40-lap stint. Obviously, I couldn't see what his tires were at, but he was looking pretty loose, even at the end of 40 laps. In theory, you could take the fuel well over the three-quarter mark of this race, but you're definitely not going to want to do that on tires, if anything, that Hunter Engrav was to be an example of.
Tough battling further back here. Kyle Zittel, Rob Haynes, Dan Miglin. They're all battling just around the top 10.
Matt Schlosser with a lunge to the inside of Caleb Bensey, trying to pick off 6th. Bensey hit a big bump out of turn number 4 last time. And Bensey going to swing out way wide, and Schlosser will take the 6th position away from your reigning series champion. Next battle on the track is, I believe, for 16th, and it's Justin Michael, Brandon Groover, and Andy Poliski in P15 right there as well. Michael on the move forward despite being involved in one of the earlier incidents.
Michael, another driver that likes to tend to sit back and wait, but does not have the luxury to do that here tonight.
Michael's made it no secret in the past that he's not the biggest fan of North Wilkesboro, but you wouldn't know it by looking at him going at it here. Qualified 29th, he's challenging for 15th here on lap 24. Underneath Andy Poliski, no slouch on the short tracks himself. Won here in the Venom Truck Series a couple seasons ago, as Michael is very loose there on the bottom and will hang on to it.
Yep.
But
able to save it, does a great job, but loses some position there and stacks them up behind him.
They're stacked up behind him, and now that right rear tire is a little bit hot. He's got a couple laps to try and cool. There's one around, Steve Vroman, and I think we're going to stay green. Roman down there in the grass will bring it back onto the bottom of the track. Traffic at the back of the pack yields, and that will send Roman back to 28th. 1 second lead for James Lehman over Heath Smith. Go ahead.
Looking at timing and scoring, it was on the screen when it did happen, so hopefully you got a great view of it. We'll go back and hopefully take a look at it at some point when we get a chance.
Engrav, Patton, and Schlosser, 4th, 5th, and 6th, staying nice and grouped together. Caleb Bensey not too far behind. Luke Peterson running in the top 10, running in 8th. Will Weiser, Kyle Zittel right now the top 10. Dan Miglin in P11. And I keep saying that we don't know much about Will Weiser other than he's a competitor in the College E NASCAR series, but he is certainly brought it every week. There's no doubt about it. Not shocking at this point to see him in the top 10.
Good battle here between Charlie Widener and Andy Poliski. Looks like Widener may get the spot.
This is Poliski trying to move forward. After the Roman spin, he's up to 14th. Charging Charlie up to P13.
Peterson and Weiser now battling for 8th.
Peterson just got really, really loose a couple of laps ago, so he's trying to manage the right rear tire temperature in this 89 truck. It's a throwback scheme on the 89, but Luke runs it quite often, so it's not really a throwback for him. Still a great-looking truck, though. As Poliski and Widener right back 2 out of the turn number 4.
Peterson's just a throwback guy. He's always rocking a throwback.
Surprised there was no pre-race prayer as Poliski drifted up the track and got right into Charlie Widener's quarter panel. That could have been bad for both of them. They both keep it straight.
Yeah, a bit of a fishtail down the back straightaway. That's going to allow Michael to start to creep up on the 32 yet again.
Just ahead of them, Dan Miglin, Rob Haynes going at it here for P11. Haynes trying to move forward on the 45. Miglin, always good on the short tracks, whether it's Truck 200 or the Venom Truck Series. He always runs strong at places like here in Bristol. So not a surprise. Another short track on the season, a little bit later on in the calendar, will be Myrtle Beach, and that is going to be an interesting one. As loose as this truck is, that's how tight that truck is. Completely different conditions there, and it'll be under the lights as well. Bertie Gunter drawing nearer to Heath Smith. He's about a truck length and a half behind, and they're both keeping James Lehman within a second.
Problems for Mike Milfelt. He is in the grass on the inside. Caution is not going to fly. One truck incident and not on the racetrack.
He's going to rejoin fairly close to the leaders here. I think he's going to stay up to the top side of the track, though. And this is poorly timed for Gunter, who's trying to mount a challenge here on Heath Smith. Now Smith with help from a teammate, seemingly, who's trying to get his truck back in order. But these guys are both catching James Lehman. Lehman was about a second and a quarter ahead a few laps ago, but this certainly is not going to help the cause. Further back at the back, Justin Michael just got past Andy Poliski for 14th. They continue to battle.
Man, they're battling hard, too. Great stuff from two fantastic drivers we've had on the channel for a long time now.
Smith and Gunter are through on Milfeld, and Gunter had a peek into turn number 1. Smith shuts the door. Gap is now back to 1 second between the two challengers and James Lehman. This is the great thing about Monday nights. These are all of the great drivers from multiple different leagues, and they're all converging here and throwing down. Great stuff already. Lap number 39 is on the board this time. 3 different leaders in this one, and only 2 cautions so far.
Justin Michael finally able to best Andy Poliski. They battled for the better part of 7 or 8 laps there. Side by side, finally single file now.
Poliski gonna try and have another go, and Michael looking awfully loose there on the top side will keep that door open. I hear someone sliding. I think it's Kyle Zittel, who was running in 10th, and he's down in the grass, and that will bring out a caution. Halfway on, halfway off the track, and that is a caution here on lap number 41.
Not only is that going to bring out the caution, that is also going to bring down everybody down pit road.
Certainly will. Good green flag run there. I'd wager one of the longer ones that we've ever had here at North Wilkesboro in any league. And it was not really that long.
I mean, the drivers are on it tonight. I mean, the laps click off quickly here when you get some green flag running. So a couple more runs like that, this night's going to be over before you know it. Let's take a look at a couple of the incidents so far here tonight. Here's the one with Steve Roman earlier on in the race. Looks like he just gets loose on his own coming off of 2. Just a little scrape in the inside wall. Roman's going to be glad he gets a restack after having to go to the back of the field after that incident. Here's the incident for Mike Milfelt. Milfelt trying to work the bottom here. Just gets in a little too hot. Spins it right down into the grass, nudges the inside wall. And here's your incident for Kyle Zittel. I think this is going to look very similar to Steve Roman's, more likely than not. And indeed, that is so. Sliding across the racetrack. With some traffic coming in behind. Caution is thrown.
Well, 3 drivers stayed out under this caution. James Lehman, the race leader. Hunter Engrav is now back to second. And Joshua Monacek, who you'll have to check if he's come down already or not. I know he was involved in one of the first cautions. But he has stayed out. He'll line up in third.
Monacek has not come down pit road, so he has stayed out. Same strategy as Lehman and Engrav here.
Back it away. Lehman on the outside. But you can tell this fresh rubber's sticking right away as Monacek is faded back, and now he's made contact. That go around Gunter and Schlosser, and that is going to block most of the track. Oh boy, big shots up top there. That is big problems for caution number 4.
Yeah, they continued to pile in after everybody was sideways.
Schlosser, Gunter, Monacek, they get pieces of it. Caleb Bensey had to make an evasive maneuver through the grass. Muscarella, Justin Michael, Luke Peterson, Rob Haynes, Kevin Winker as well involved in this crash. Multiple other drivers had to take some landscaping detours.
Doing my best RJ Starcevic impression there, getting ready for this weekend.
Oh, boy. Wait for the Supercut round 2.
One of my favorite videos of the last year. Let's take a look. This happens right towards the front of the field. And you got drivers on fresh rubber trying to make things happen versus drivers on older rubber. It just it gets chaotic. Yeah, Schlosser working up above Monacek here. And Schlosser not all the way up the racetrack. I don't know if Monacek lost some grip there or thought that Schlosser would be further up by the wall potentially, but both of them careened together in with Brody Gunter. Boy, Rob Haynes took a hard shot, as did Justin Michael, Luke Peterson. Rob Haynes took another one there as well. We'll take a different angle because there's some other drivers that took some shots down low as well. Tommy, if we start running out of time, just let me know.
We are doubling up.
But Muscarella was involved in this one as well. In the 07 a little bit later on. See him in the 07 there coming through. Groover taking an evasive maneuver through the grass. A couple other drivers as well.
And that'll bring us back into live action here as we're backing our way. Lehman on control. He's electing the inside here as we're thundering back into turn number 1. And Grav still on the outside here. Smith with the fresher rubber. Down low. And now Engrav starting to go backwards. Just got the bumper from Will Weiser. Might get it again here. As Smith now going to be chomping at the bit to be the new race leader. He'll look underneath the 50. Used to love to go at it on the short tracks on Thursday nights. Now they're doing it on a Monday. This time it's Smith with new tires. Up to P1. Patton will follow through in the hole. Bensey now clogging up the bottom.
And Lehman's going to be in trouble for a little bit here when you got brand new rubber when it starts to get warm finally. The bottom is kind of the place to be for a little while, but that top will start to come in again, no doubt.
Weiser is next up, then Dan Miglin. Nate Siefker is into the top 10. Kyle Zittle's back in the top 10 after bringing out the caution just a few laps ago. Brandon Groover hanging around the top 10 here as well, and Charging Charlie now boxed in between the drivers with old rubber.
Part of the strategy call for those 3 that stayed out is, well, Matichek ended up having quite a bit of damage, so he came in and I believe he got tires. But
Yes.
for Engrav and Lehman still out there, part of this is you get limited amounts of tires here, so they're hoping that they'll have a bunch of cautions and later on might have an extra set available that some of these other drivers do not, and hopefully are going to be able to use it to their advantage.
A few more drivers sneaking in towards the top 10. Joshua Heggie, Dale Weiser, and Justin Michael, who's been through the ringer, seen a lot of the action tonight. We'll say that.
I mean, this pack right around the top 10 is stacked up together big time, and Lehman and Engrav on the old rubber has a lot to do with that. 2 wide right now.
Widener, Siefker, and Brandon Groover have gotten through. Engrav and Lehman trying to fend off Kyle Zittel as well. We got one around. It's Mike Milfeld again, and the caution is back out. Rough night for the 155 already.
Tough sledding for Milfeld, and he just towed to the pits. He might call it a night.
I think he might, and that's another driver similar to Brad Slagle, who, although Milfeld's in the top 5 in the points, but this is going to hurt a little bit. He's, I believe, going to finish down in maybe P28 to P30, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, definitely frustrated there, and the pretty immediate tow to the pits and then disconnect.
Hey, before we get into the replay here, I want to shout out the Rutherfords. Hopefully everything is okay on the home front. Also want to give our condolences to the family of Justin Michael as well, and we're happy that he can be here and in action tonight.
Here's a look at Milfeld going down into turn number 3, and we've seen him do this a couple of times already tonight. Just gets in there with a little bit too much speed. Maybe with a little bit too much turn as well. Sometimes it's better to kind of shoot it straight in. Let the truck slow down and then start your turn. Pretty tough to do here, though.
Yeah.
And after that one, Milfeld has seen enough.
Well, we got our 2 holdouts down pit road and a bunch of other drivers that have had damage from multiple incidents to this point. Engrav, Lehman, Schlosser, Winker, Poliski, Muscarell, and Sanders, all to get service. It's only caution number 5 on lap 60. We were on a worse pace last season. Of course, I say that now, but, you know. Let's give you the top 10 here. Smith will be in control. He's on the top side. Patton will be to his inside. It's Caleb Binsey, Dan Minglin on row 2. Will Weiser, Charlie Widener on row 3. Nate Siefker, Brandon Groover on row 4. Kyle Zittel and Dale Weiser. It is a healthy mix of league representation inside the top 10. But Max V in control of this one. Not a great start there from Patton on the bottom. Binsey all over the 46. And Smith out front. Some contact further back between Michael and Weiser. They continue to bang doors here into turn number 1. Michael up the track will take that 11th spot away. Siefker nearly into the back of Charlie Widener there. That was close.
Josh Hagee trying to stuff it into the bottom. Makes nearly contact with Brandon Groover there.
Ooh, and there's the contact.
Whoa! Yep. Groover up the racetrack.
Groover has some damage from a pit road incident with Andy Poliski as well. Not that that really matters on a short track, but...
Single file ahead of these folks, but things are starting to get stacked up. Kyle Zittel trying to get his way through in the 53, but nowhere to go. Same with Justin Michael on the top in the 87. Oh, and Kyle Zittel flirts with the inside wall there off of 4.
Being
That'll
the
spread
first,
things out a little bit.
being the first pair side by side, watching everybody be single file in front of you, I think is the racing equivalent of a microaggression. It's very
so
frustrating.
Annoying, yes.
Yes. But Michael gets himself out of that situation, picks off Brandon Groover. Next up will be Josh Hagee. It's great to see Hagee get a win in the ASRL Sports Car Championship late in the season at Misano. Whoa, Kyle Zittel is way loose and off the pace at a turn number 4. He'll go passed up by multiple drivers.
Lots of side-by-side here in this pack.
James Lehman, first driver on fresh tires back in P17. He's working his way forward. Scott Patton slowly catching Heath Smith here. Might have a battle on our lead, battle for the lead on our hands here in a couple laps.
Rob Haynes, Hunter Engrav battling. Engrav's going to get the best of Haynes there to get to 11.
Oh, trouble, big one. Pile up there. Schlosser into Dale. Claiborne cleans out the 400.
Cody Claiborne absolutely demolishes the 400.
James Lehman, who we just mentioned, had fresh tires, got a piece of that one too. Dakota DeMade, a passerby as well. Not seeing a meatball flag for the 400, but that truck is hurting for sure.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Rough go for the 400 already, who was running pretty good before he was caught up in that last accident.
Let's take a look here. Schlosser down in the bottom is going to end up 3 wide. Dakota DeMay on the top in the 82. Dale Weiser there in the middle. Schlosser on the bottom. 3 wide around here typically doesn't end up too well. And Weiser is going to get loose out of the corner, come down, tag Schlosser in the right rear, turn him straight up the racetrack. Dakota DeMade is going to take a huge shot as a result. Jeremy McKinnon, some contact there with Weiser. Watch Cody Claiborne in and just absolutely plow into the 400. Take one more look and see what happens to Weiser there on the bottom. Didn't really get a great look at what happened to the 3-0. Oh, pretty heavy contact with Lehman. The 330 goes sliding through the grass. And I think we just lost the camera feed for Josh Monacek.
I think he has called it a night, unfortunately, as we're doubling up here for the restart. He is, been a rough one for the 60. Hopefully,
been a rough one for a lot of folks. So
yeah,
far.
I mean, you're not wrong. Smith and Patton, we'll see if we can get this battle going. Better restart for Patton, but still not great, as Smith will lead the field back into turn number 1. Bensey and Miglin side by side for P3. Weiser and Widener behind them.
Tell you what, the one good thing about North Wilkesboro, the caution laps click off pretty quick, and we are right back to the action.
Yeah, I wish every short track caution period was as short as this one. Not like Iowa, where you have 15 laps of caution, it seems like, and a longer track. This is they do it right here. Oh, we got one sideways.
Lehman sliding.
Lehman.
Nope. Oh, yeah, the caution is going to be thrown. Lehman was able to save it, but lost a lot of positions.
Man.
But he's going to get a lot of those back here, seemingly. Boy, the tires are going to be lit up there on the 50, though.
Man.
Yeah.
Lehman was not happy over the radio because he said, man, I saved it. But that, it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't, because if you don't throw the caution, it's going to have a pileup like we've seen the last 3 times.
let's take a look. Let's take a look at the handiwork here from the 50. I think he's going to get a massive shot from somebody because he ended up with a... Yep, there it is. We'll take another look here through the view of the driver. Lehman plowed into pretty good from behind. Works the wheel, works the throttle, keeps her moving.
Ryan Newman would be proud of that one.
Ironically, it was the 12 that plowed into him.
Yeah. Newman was the one. I think he made a super duper save at Daytona. He was the one that taught me you alternate between the gas and the brake, and you're going to keep yourself out of the wall most of the time. Lehman had them both going. A much shorter field to play, and he'll live to see another lap. And he'll do it from P15. I said a few laps ago that he was the furthest up of the drivers with fresh tires, and that was wrong. Hunter Engrav, even when I said that, was already ahead of him, and Engrav is nearly back into the top 10 now. A few heat cycles on those tires. Maybe they're about evened out by now, but Engrav's still with some fresher rubber, trying to get some stage bonus points here coming up in about 20 laps. It will be Heath Smith and Scott Patton on the front row, Dan Miglin and Caleb Bency on row 2, Will Weiser and Charlie Widener on the third row. And that is how we'll bring it back to green here on lap 80. Still not great restarts from the bottom side. Patton and Weiser spinning the tires a lot. Tight quarters here for second, third, fourth, and fifth as Justin Michael is into the picture. Oh, we got one sideways. It's Steve Froman. We're back under caution. Kyle Zittel will get a piece of him as well. And unlike last time, Froman was stopped there on the track, so that one needed to be a caution.
First 50 laps or so were pretty good.
And then we get to this point.
We have certainly had a string.
We're right back on pace. One caution for every 10 laps.
Take a look. Roma down here on the bottom. Get some help from the 53. Everybody does a good job getting around him. One good thing about that is Roman kept it in the middle of the racetrack, and here pretty much everybody wants to either be on the top or on the bottom. Nobody really uses the middle a whole lot unless you have to.
And that is Zittel's second caution of the day. First time we've had to do this season. That is a 20-second stop and hold for Kyle Zittel, which is that's a lap penalty.
Yeah, that's big time here for sure. Tommy talks about him a little bit earlier. Dan Miglin is up here in the top 5.
Miglin always has showed out.
Specifically
on the short
here,
tracks.
but on short tracks in general, but has been very good here in a couple of leagues.
He nearly won at Bristol in Truck 200 last season as well. But yes, always running strong here at North Wilkesboro. Was running strong here, ironically enough, until he tangled with Kyle Zittel in the Venom Truck Series last season. But yeah, Miglin, strong run.
Certainly been a lot of tangling here tonight so far.
Yeah. Getting untangled has been more interesting to see. Smith on the top side, Patton on the bottom. This time when Weiser doesn't fire from the outside very well, Patton has a hole to get up top in front of Dan Miglin. But that hole is closed. Pat now right on the bumper of Heath Smith. And Miglin now going to pin the 46 down on the bottom. Justin Michael raring to go from the back of the field.
Yeah, Miglin going way up there. Oh!
That's Bensey. Bensey, with help from Justin Michael, will go around.
Bensey stopped in the bottom of the racetrack. That will bring the caution out.
Yeah, I can't tell. Hard to tell in real time from the angle that I was at if Bensey was trying to move up, if Michael moved down, or maybe both. It's easy to do.
Yeah, we were on that head-on shot, so really couldn't tell from our point of view either. I think we need to take a closer look. Bensey here on the bottom. Miglin way up the racetrack trying to get the big drive off. Michael right behind Miglin here. Oh, and boy, really hard to tell there. Let's back it up. I think Bensey might have come up into Michael, but it's very tough to tell.
That is the word from race control. Bensey, who, I mean, is already at the back of the field anyway, will be at the back of the field for this restart regardless.
Yeah, there was some netcode there, but I think Bensey might have thought it was just going to be clear between Miglin and Michael, and that was just not the case. Everybody does a good job to avoid as Bensey comes sliding back up into the first lane there.
That could have been bad news, especially for Weiser and Charlie Widener and a few other drivers there, Hunter Engrav. You talk about an inspired drive from the back to the front for Justin Michael. Well, maybe we're about to see that again, this time with Caleb Bensey, who won this race last season. So we'll double them up. It's still Heath Smith up front. Patton now on the bottom. It's Dan Miglin starting in third. Justin Michael now to his outside. Will Weiser, how about Nate Siefker in P6? He was just trying to get us to lift the no Chastain rule so he could get bonus points on lap 100. Well, he doesn't need Chastain. He's in the points right now. Oh, and we got trouble at the back of the field. Not sure what just happened, but Luke Peterson has gone for a spin, and we'll do another lap under caution here.
Potential shenanigans going on here.
Yeah, there was I think a big checkup in front of Luke Peterson, and he couldn't really do anything. Got help from Brody Gunter from behind him.
He hit the wall pretty decent there, too.
Back it away.
Oh, man. Seifert got on the wall. He's way up the racetrack trying to get the big drive off.
Engrav creeping into the picture with the slightly fresher tires. Michael around the outside is going to take third away from Dan Miglin.
Weiser up underneath the Siefker here. They have come close to tangling together a couple of times already.
The drivers, I would imagine, are completely new to one another.
Can't shake each other yet. Look at Patton trying to take a dive to the inside.
Patton is searching around for a way up onto the point of this field. Seifert got way loose in 3 and 4 and will give up the spot to Will Weiser. Now has Hunter Engrav underneath. Smith, a brush of the wall down the backstretch.
Shade starting to come over the racetrack. Might cool the conditions off a bit here.
Down to 102. It's getting a little bit better, but this track is all rubbered up at this point. 96 laps in. Bonus points coming here at the conclusion of lap 100. Will Weiser challenging for familiar position. He's finished 4th in the last 2 races, and he's looking to go up to 4th now.
He's been strong and steady since we took the green flag here for this run.
He has it at the line. A big snap oversteer out of turn number 4, though, and Miglin still hounding him to the outside, trying to hang on to that spot.
Patton's still tucked up right underneath your leader here as well.
Don't look now. Here is Justin Michael looming large in the mirror of his teammate once again, as he often does.
Lap and a half to go before points are paid out. Engrav going to take a dive underneath of Siefker.
Miglin bounced off the wall there in turn number 2 as Engrav tried to take the spot away. Two drivers who are much more familiar with one another. We're across the halfway mark technically, but the points are paid out next time by, as Weiser will slide up in front of Miglin.
Oh, Patton!
No! For the lead!
Smith! A huge shot to the outside wall.
Wow. A bump from Patton, and that will allow Justin Michael to take the stage win of all people. Oh, man.
Wow,
that
did not see that one coming.
that's cruel for Heath Smith, who was cruising to 10 bonus points and now has a heavily damaged race car. He took a hard shot into the outside wall.
And everybody's
Everybody
going
going to come down pit road.
Yeah, everybody's diving into pit road here.
Wow, we'll have to see what happened there. That was wild.
They both got into 3 and 4 really, really deep. I think Patton just got into the back of him. Back it up here, take another angle. We'll take the wide shot. As they come in, Smith's trying to arc the corner. Patton coming in way down on the bottom. It's the rear of the 1. And they both kind of overcorrect, but Smith, big time overcorrection right into the concrete.
Well, split decision on the field here. Top 7 have stayed out. Kevin Winker will be leading his first laps on turn 200. Dakota DeMaine will line up to his inside when we start to double up here. Then it'll be Jeremy McKinnon and Caleb Bency back up to P4. Kyle Zittel, Alex Muscarella, and Steve Vroman. Vroman flanked by Justin Michael to the outside, who wins the race off of pit road. Scott Patton picks up the EOL penalty for the contact there with Heath Smith.
A lot of these drivers have been down pit road in the last 25 laps, but Steve Roman and Caleb Bency and Dakota DeMaine, they were last down pit road on lap 42, so quite a bit of wear on those sets of rubber circles there.
Winker in control of the restart there as McKinnon has a handful as he puts the gas down. Oh, Miglin into Will Weiser, and that will send Nate Siefker up the track. Siefker gets the worst of that accordion effect. Miglin now on the bottom of 3 wide and nearly up into Steve Vroman there as Siefker's still getting bounced around. Still getting bounced around as Vroman is loose.
From top to bottom, it is going down right now. Winker and Bency fighting for the lead.
3 wide behind them as Justin Michael is eating on fresh tires. Benzie going for the top spot on Kevin Winker. And look at Justin Michael go already into the top 5. He is just going to, he might as well be Chastaning it off the wall as fast as he is on the fresh rubber here. Look at this.
He's about to hit a blockade, though. He's going to put it on the wall.
3 wide. Alex Muscarella spinning behind. We are going to stay green as Justin Michael is back to the lead. You're kidding me.
Oh, Safeguard, big slide. Wow, great job not to come straight back up into traffic.
Wow, Hunter Engrav shoots the middle between Benzie and Winker, and Engrav's now up to P2. Will Weisser's now the pinball in the middle here. That door's going to close pretty quickly, and Weisser rolls out of it. Makes contact with McKinnon, and we're still going forward. I don't know how. Good Lord
now
above.
This is what we came here for. Oh, look at Engrav. Engrav going to try and dive it down underneath the Michael.
Hunter Engrav wants to be on point here. They're back on point after leading this race early. Weisser still trying to shoot the middle between Winker and Benzie. Now the 44 off the door of the 42.
Boy.
Gives him another shot for good measure. He at least clears Benzie on the bottom. Now we'll get up to P3. That's short track racing right there. The pressure from Engrav is subsided temporarily, but he's still right here in striking distance if Michael should make a mistake.
Boy, look at this. Widener, big move from the top all the way down to the bottom on the white line. Winker with a problem.
Winker very loose. Dan Miglin is loose as well, but he's at least able to keep his momentum. The 42 is starting to go backwards.
This was worth the price of free admission right here.
So far. Oh, Heath Smith. Josh Heggie. Contact. Smith is into the wall and around. Caution is out. Oh, man. When it rains, it pours for Heath Smith. That's another driver who's in a bit of a points hole after a strong start to the season. And was looking down the barrel of 10 bonus points, and now instead he's involved in a second caution in a row.
And he was lucky not to get trapped behind the pace car there.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. This is through 3 and 4, coming out of 4. Oh, contact there with Heggie. Heggie had a big run. I think Heggie expected Smith to stay on the top side. Smith was trying to arc it down to the bottom. Boy, that's a couple of really hard shots to the concrete there for the one tonight. No safer barriers on that outside wall.
Is there anything safe about this configuration? I would say no. The giant gaping hole down the backstretch.
Certainly dangerous.
So Heggie will pick up the EOL for the contact there. And everybody that is running on the track is back on the lead lap. Sorry. Brody Gunter is now the first driver in the running order who is a lap down. He is 10 laps down. But Gavin Sanders has just been brought back to the lead lap. He was 4 laps down. And no spoilers, but we are dropping our turn 20 best moments of the year tomorrow. And something tells me that a particular driver coming from multiple laps down to win a race will be placed quite high on that list. And who could that possibly be, Matt?
You're going to have to watch to find out.
Well, I guess I'll just mention then that Charlie Widener's up to 4th. No particular reason. He'll start to the outside of Will Weisser. Behind Engrav and Justin Michael, who may see fit to do battle here. We'll see. Lap 118 on the board this time. We're starting to tick away here as the sun continues to go down ever so slightly here in Wilkes County. Around the outside, here's Charging Charlie looking for P2.
Yeah, did not get a very good start there on the bottom. Now he's trying to fight back, get a nose out in front of the 95.
Whoa, problems. Dakota DeMade is hit the wall, and Alex Muscarella involved as well, and that will bring out yet another caution.
Only 12.
Only 12.
When you think about it, not that many.
Yeah,
so far.
I guess.
Well, I mean, not to
compared to
spoil
26?
anything. Yeah, not to spoil anything else, but I think we had 26 or 27 at one point this season. So comparatively, not that many.
Yep. Well, Indica Scarlet hanging out with us.
Also did get him up on screen. James Lehman, the only remaining driver running a camera for us here tonight, as he is going to fake a trip down onto pit road.
Love the fisheye cam. It's very NASCAR on Fox, but in a good way. I know that can always not be a great thing, but we'll double it up here. Laps are winding down. It should be 77 to go at the stripe here in the throwback race, round number 4. Fittingly enough, we have 2 throwback tracks in a row. I'm sure we'll see some blasts from the past schemes next week at Darlington as well. Justin Michael, Hunter Engrav back on the front row. Good launch from the outside here for the 87. Weiser, Widener, and James Lehman back in the top 5.
Better start
3
for Engrav on the bottom
wide.
as well.
4 wide,
boy.
just about. Brandon Groover stuck on the outside of that one, getting away.
Peterson was the meat in the sandwich, and he got through unscathed as well.
Oh, spin!
McKinnon turned! Oh, right in front of a lot of folks there.
Oh, Patton hits
Scott.
hard. So does Steve
Yeah.
Roman. Oh, boy, that is... Whoo, that's a lot of drivers.
Peter Downcheck stuck in that one as well.
That,
Sheet metal just flew about 150 feet in the air off of somebody.
well, that was... we're going to have to redo our biggest crashes of the year because that would be number 2. That is 14 drivers involved in that one. That was a junkyard.
Kenny is on the top here, and he's kind of trying to keep the 33 of Rob Haynes pinched down a little bit there. Haynes gets up into the 12. Big shot for Kyle Zittel there as well. You see a lot of people just pile in on the outside while everybody's trying to get slowed down. Josh Hagee, a big shot stuck in between the inside walls, and Steve Roman and Jeremy McKinnon. And watch this piece of that tailgate just fly straight up in the air here.
That was pure Canadian on Canadian violence there with Haynes turning Jeremy McKinnon. And the 33 is headed to the back of the field.
Yeah, it's funny. Some of these are just simple. One truck could probably not be a caution incidents, and then you have 3 of those, and then all of a sudden you get a big one.
A 14 truck pileup. I just want to point out, Justin Michael leading this race has 12 incident points. The leader right now is Alex Muscarella with 17, and we have a drive-through penalty at 24. So some of these drivers are going to have to put in some work and to get that 24X drive-through, and for everybody's sake, I really hope they don't get there. We'll try this again. Maybe this is our lucky 13th and final caution. LOL. Probably not. But Justin Michael and Hunter Engrav on the front row. Will Weiser, Charlie Widener, James Lehman, Dan Miglin, Kyle Zittel, Brandon Groover, Caleb Bency, Andy Poliski. Just about everybody in the top 10 has been involved in some kind of accident tonight, save for Engrav and Widener. Green flag. Whoa, we got trouble again. Caution is back out. McKinnon again.
Boy,
this time with Nate Siefker. Steve Roman with a piece of it. Josh Hagee as well. And Alex Muscarella again is the first driver to go over 20.
Peterson burns it down. He is not happy about that one.
Yeah, I think McKinnon is going to call it a night.
See if we can pin this one down. Siefker underneath of Peterson. Oh, and that's where the contact starts. That was going to be tough. They're 3 wide here. Siefker way down, trying to pin it to the bottom. Peterson stuck in the middle between him and Winker. Peterson trying to make this save and nearly gets it done, but he comes back up the racetrack. A bit of an overcorrection. Right up into Vroman and Heggie. Boy, Schlosser narrowly avoids down to the bottom.
Well, I just had to go and say that might be our final caution, didn't I? I won't say that again.
Please.
Oh, well, the opposite. We'll have nothing but cautions from here on out.
We're gonna hit
every restart will be like,
cautions.
oh God. I may just advance the session if that happens. All right. Fourth verse, same as the first. Justin Michael, Hunter Engram on the front row. Charlie Widener, Will Weiser, row 2. Dan Miglin and James Lehman keep trading the 5th position amongst themselves. Brandon Groover, Kyle Zittel, Andy Poliski, Caleb Bency, Scott Patton, Kevin Winker. That is your top 12 as we're back to it here on lap 134. Varying tire strategies, varying levels of frustration and aggression. Battling for the lead. Engrav down low underneath Justin Michael. And caution is out once again. This time it's Alex Muscarella.
And
Not sure
Luke
if he-
Peterson.
Oh, Steve Roman also had a problem there as well. And yes, Luke Peterson.
There's Muscarella. Oh, problems before that, Roman, let me mentioned. Oh, and it looks like Roman and Seifker may have gotten together here. Oh, it looks like Roman went for a bit of a slide on his own. Made some contact with Seifker and maybe Gavin Sanders. Peterson went for a slide on his own here as well. Just trying to get slowed down behind all the hoopla going on in front of him. And there, trust me, there's been a lot of hoopla tonight.
You can say that again.
Has there been a lot of hoopla on the radio?
Actually, not very much. A couple of quick apologies.
Sometimes if there's
Yeah.
not a lot, that's even worse.
Yeah. Sometimes it can simmer, and when it does make its way onto the radio, and probably in Volusia in a couple of weeks, it'll be quite interesting.
Boy.
Sure, Justin Michael isn't minding this time up front, although Hunter Ingrav, little by little, if they could get a few laps in, he might have the stuff to get through on the 87. Well, Michael on these shorter tracks does tend to be a short run guy. At a mile and a half or more, forget about it. You're just not going to get through at any point. But Ingrav and Michael both slid the rear tires a lot on the longer runs that they had in practice. So maybe we'll see more of that if we can get a long enough run in. Widener and Weiser on row 2. Not a great restart there for the 77 of Ingrav. Will be fighting to keep second as Charlie Widener is looking to take it.
Back to some 3 wide there, further back.
Ooh, Scott Patton got really loose. He's way up the track. He'll lose a spot to Kevin Winker as well. Will Weiser is awfully loose there as well. Purple lap for Hunter Ingrav this time by. Oh, and there's Winker and Patton both, and Patton is slow on the bottom of the track. We'll get it back in gear. We'll stay green. Weiser's starting to go backwards. James Lehman is through.
Ingrav working the bottom. Justin Michael more the middle of the racetrack here right now. Top 10, all single file. You got to go back to Schlosser and Rob Haynes, who were side by side for a moment. Now Seifker trying to make it 2 wide.
Lap 145 this time, and it's the 45 of Dan Miglin, who's getting uprooted right now by James Lehman in the 50. Not too sure Nate Seeker didn't just have a problem. And now the caution is going to fly as Brady Gunter and Kyle Zittel have gotten together. I believe that's caution number 15. And Kyle Zittel, I think he's going to have to park it for the night. It's been a rather unfortunate night for the 53.
Oh, and you see before that, Seifker off the racetrack. Seifker might have gotten loose on his own there. Coming off of turn 2, that's easy to do. Some contact there between him and Sanders. And And Kyle Zittle sending it to the outside of the 99 after that contact. And Kyle Zittle goes for a spin all by himself. Brody Gunter, innocent bystander there. Hard contact with the wall as well. Okay, Tommy. Quite a few folks down pit road here.
Hmm.
And a couple of them, actually a lot of them were up front.
Yeah, new leader will be Dan Miglin. Brandon Groover, I'm assuming, is going to start to his inside. Unless Miglin does the unthinkable and takes the bottom for, I think, only the second time tonight. But yeah, Justin Michael back in 11th. So, assumingly, that means the top 10 have stayed out. Miglin, Groover, Winker, Bensey, Smith, DeMade, Haynes, Schlosser, Poliski, and Siefker. Some battered and tattered race vehicles in amongst those 10. I would say, in fact, most of those 10 have had some kind of problem tonight. Closing in on 40 to go. Dan Miglin in control of the field. Back underway. Bensey going to go on the attack right away.
Oh, my goodness.
Michael turns Poliski hard. Siefker. Charlie Widener. Steve Roman again. Now Kiss.
And twist.
Good God. Oh boy. That was ugly.
Oh, you know what that is?
I think that's just short track racing.
No. That is caution number 17. Tying our last race here.
No. Yeah, it do be like that.
Well, let's see. Bottom doesn't get a great restart here. And yep, Justin Michael gonna get back into the back of the 32, right up into Siefker. Charlie Widener, nowhere to go there. And Steve Roman going to come piling in as well. Really heavy damage for Poliski there. And Siefker as well.
Well, unfortunately, I see a drive-through penalty in Siefker, Roman, and Muscarella's future. They are both at 22x.
The herd is certainly thinning here.
So, for whatever reason, the sim decided to give Justin Michael a 1-minute stop and hold penalty. Not sure why. We're extending this caution to give him his lap back. He will have an EOL penalty for this restart, however. Well, I mean, the strategies are bouncing like a Super Ball here. But who do you like at this point in terms of fresh tires, in terms of track position? Who are we thinking here?
I mean, I'm looking at Engrav, Lehman, and Weiser, and probably Patton as well, although Patton has been in quite a few more incidents than those others. I feel like those drivers are on the freshest tires, have been the most consistent thus far today. Have to have a feeling that they've got a pretty good shot. Although if we have a lot of more cautions, their opportunities are going to start thinning down a little bit. Also looking at the one of Pete Smith, who has had some tough sledding here today, but showed quick speed early on. We'll see what he can do here in the closing stages.
I don't think anybody's out of it. Any of the 20 that are on the lead lap. We're back at our way. Miglin, good start. Groover, Bensey, the top 3. Smith and Winker, your top 5. Maid almost got sucked into a 3-wide hole there. Oh, crash! Justin Michael and Andy Poliski. Yeah, those two got together on the last one. We'll have to take a look at that.
Dare I ask what our Truck 200 caution record is?
20?
Maybe on our way.
We certainly could be.
Boy, in the back of the pack, we're 3 wide between Peterson. Oh, boy. I think there were some nefarious activities happening there.
I would have to agree. That is certainly short track racing. Tempers flaring. I think a lot of these guys are ready for this one to be over.
It'd be over a little bit quicker if we didn't have that.
Yeah, that is also correct, yes. So that'll be dealt with. Poliski for now with an EOL penalty. No real shakeups otherwise. Still drivers towards the back of the pack coming in under this caution. Donchak, Sanders, Heggie, Siefker. But it's still Dan Manglin at the front of this field, and boy, what a story this would be. We always tout him as a strong short track racer, and this is the opportunity here. Lap 163 of 199. Brandon Groover winning this as well would be a huge story. He starts in second. That inside just does not fire off very well on these restarts.
Bensey sticking it all the way to the bottom, trying to get underneath the 41. Couldn't quite get there.
One of about 10 drivers to go from the front to the back, back to the front. Bensey in third.
James Lehman might be getting a little impatient behind Rob Haynes here. He's going to try and dive down to the bottom.
Haynes was getting loose there. Brandon Groover not letting Dan Miglin get too far. 0.3 of a second, a couple of truck lengths between first and second.
Lehman the furthest driver up up on those drivers that came down on right around lap 145.
It's still pretty fresh.
Still pretty fresh, especially after the cautions that we've had, and there's another one.
That's Peter Donchak around in turn number 4, back under the yellow, and Rob Haynes has had a problem in turn number 1 as well. Haynes from 9th. There's number 19. We're so close. We were on such a good pace, too.
I certainly don't want to know where we would be without
the strong
the
start.
longer run, yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm showing Hunter Engrav involved with this Rob Haynes incident as well. I'm not sure if it started with Engrav or started with Haynes.
Looks like Donchak spun, whoa, boy, right in front of Brody Gunter and Luke Peterson. There you go. Oh, boy, and Nate Siefker just about got a piece of it as well there. And let's take a look at what happens with Haynes. I think this is right as the caution's being thrown. Oh, boy, he got loose on his own trying to turn down from the top side there. Hunter Engrav right into the side of the 33.
Not too sure that isn't Engrav's first incident points of the entire race. So that's pretty impressive. Yeah, no other 0Xs out on the playing field. That was the last one. Only driver down pit road on this pit cycle is Dakota DeMade, who was inside the top 10. So maybe hoping for a longer run, one final caution, and everybody coming down pit road. Or maybe just hoping to blast through the field. Both are possible. We wouldn't have a late caution at a short track, though. Surely not.
I got nothing to say.
I was going to say, I think we killed Matt. If you don't see the camera cut anymore, Matt has died. Well, we need you, partner. We got to call this one home. We're so close. 29 to go at the stripe. Miglin and Groover. Still at the front, Caleb Bensi, Heath Smith, two powerhouses lurking behind the underdogs on the front row. Oh, Winker loose, big time.
Yeah, stacks him up there behind. Wow, look at that. Justin Michael all the way up to the wall. He's nearly wall riding it. Meanwhile, up front, James Lavin on the fresher tires trying to make some work happen. Boy, that was close.
Yes, it was.
Problems.
Oh, boy. That's Gavin Sanders. Charlie Widener involved there as well. Boy, it's been a rough day for Gavin Sanders.
Widener all the way on the bottom. Sanders going to get stuck in the middle here between Widener and Rob Haynes. Oh, and Widener comes right up into the 99. And I'll tell the audience this story. I messaged Tommy last night, I think it was yesterday. Told him I was stuck in iRacing purgatory. And what I meant by that was in official races, I just was perpetually getting wrecked and people wrecking in front of me and people just running into the back of me for no good reason, apparently. And I would venture to say we've been stuck in iRacing purgatory for about the last 100 laps here as well.
So what you're saying is, of course, there's been no previous history to show that this race was going to turn out this way. What you're saying is you brought this bad juju with you tonight.
Unfortunately, I can say that I may have. And you know what? I'll just take the blame for it right here.
Wow, he's doing it. All right, no penalties for anybody. You heard it here. Oh, boy.
First night back in 3 weeks on a short track. Everybody gets a free pass.
Can you imagine if we didn't have those multiple weeks off and we went straight into North Wilkesboro? It could have been worse, if that's at all possible. This really did not start off this bad. It's just everybody's getting lethargic now. I'm sure this is most people's first race back from the holidays. This is a rough go. It's a tough challenge. And the challenge is about to get a lot tougher for Dan Miglin, who now will have Heath Smith challenging to take back the lead that was unrightfully taken from him, ironically enough, by the driver that's lining up in fourth, Scott Patton. And how about James Lehman back up here to third? It's a Max V 3-on-1 with Dan Miglin, the odd man out, in control of the field. Engrav, Weiser, Schlosser back in the mix as well.
Boy, we are right back to 3 and maybe 4 wide here.
Wow, that was almost bad.
Justin Michael continues to try and rail the top side here. He's doing a good job making up some ground. Everybody's chasing Dan Miglin. James Lehman's gotten out in front of Heath Smith.
Whoa!
He's on fresher tires than everybody up here in the top 6.
Smith is chasing his truck. He is awfully loose and still loose. Wow. Headed the wrong direction.
James Lehman going to start head hunting the 45 of Miglin.
Muscarella around. Caution is back out. That will be a penalty for Muscarella. Damage for DeMade, Haynes, and Winkler as well. That is caution at number 21. I'll check the record book while we take a look at the replay.
This is Michael on the top, Muscarella on the bottom, and Muscarella is going to go around on his own. Contact with Winker, DeMade, and right down the racetrack, Rob Haynes going to smash right into the side of the 07. And Zach Lockett has joined the chat with the wise words of Chris Tucker. Make it 21.
And that is the record. How we laughed earlier tonight. 26 cautions. Ha ha ha. Oh, brother, we're getting close. We are getting awfully close. Too close for comfort, might I add. Heath Smith decided to come down pit road after a couple of, you would call those near falls in the business. He kicked out, but it was close. It was close.
We've had a lot that weren't near falls. They just were falls.
Yes. Heath as well. 2 in a row, in fact. I'm surprised that truck is still rolling.
Well, this is going to give James Lehman a good opportunity here. Fresher tires up front, although he now has company that came down pit road with him on lap 146. Will Weiser, Hunter Engrav, Scott Patton have all been down pit road on lap 146. And now Justin Michael is lurking, who is on even fresher tires, came down on lap 159.
And I believe the freshest tires on the top 10 belong to Dakota DeMade. He's not too far behind there in P8. Or rather P7.
Yeah, he came down on lap 168, and even atop that, Bensey down on lap 173. It's going to be a wild one.
Miglin and Lehman side by side. This is the best jump we've seen from the bottom thus far. Lehman P2 last round in Mid-Ohio wants to get that one better. Miglin wants one better than when he got at Bristol last season. Michael's stacking him up on the top side further back.
Yeah, Lehman not able to get it done on the bottom. Now going to try and jump to the middle, try and get a big run here on Miglin.
Oh, he's got it.
He's got it.
One. Down to the bottom. Can he get the drive off? No, Miglin's still hanging tough here up top.
Cannot. He's going to have to start worrying about Will Weiser in the 44 as well, closing in.
Weiser on the scene, looking for his first podium, potentially looking for a win. We got a spin in the back. It's Michael and DeMade.
And I think Lehman might have been out front.
Wow.
No, maybe not. I'm not sure. Miglin's going to jump back out again. That was awfully close.
Contact between Michael and DeMade. I'm not too sure Caleb Bency didn't get a piece of that as well. And I think Miglin's saved by the bell.
Oh, boy. That was certainly something there. Sure, I mean, there's a lot that transpires here. You got Bency, I think, is going to try and shoot the gap between Michael and DeMade. Makes contact with Michael up top, which turns Michael down the racetrack right into the 82. For DeMade being in there in the top 10 with a good set of tires was certainly not expecting it to end like that. Not that it's over necessarily, but certainly going to be a lot tougher.
I'm not going to overrule iRacing because I'm not confident in how they do scoring loops or if it's exactly time of caution, but going back to the point where the lights came on, James Lehman is definitely ahead. And Dave Miglin is still the leader of this race.
Yeah, it looked to me like it was awfully close, but...
Well, it certainly was close, but I think Lehman had the edge.
Nonetheless, Miglin gonna be able to jump as he pleases there on the top, although Lehman did a great job on the last restart. He's gonna need another one very similar.
If he needs a longer run, the bad news is he's about out of time. We're going to restart in lap 191 of 199. We do have a potential opportunity for 3 overtimes if need be. Will this be the run to the checkers? Miglin and Lehman. Miglin fires off quite nicely. Ingram now going to go to the outside of Lehman.
Oh boy, Miglin's going to get a gift here. Ingram and Lehman side by side. This should help Miglin out front.
Miglin maintains the track position but not able to pull away.
Ingram looking good on the top side here.
Yes, he is. We got one sideways in the middle of the field. I think we're going to stay green. Nope. It's piling up. Heggie, Haynes, Schlosser. Caution is back out. And I think we'll stay in regulation here. It'll be awfully close. That is caution number 23.
If I didn't know any better, I would think that North Wilkesboro was in Spain.
I'm in Spain.
Exactly.
Or Missouri.
Please end it, brother.
We're close. We're right there.
Where's the 3 count?
We're doing the King Kong Bundy 5 count here, brother. None of that.
Let's take a look at this last one. Oh, it starts in a front of Haynes. That was Heggie sideways. Looks like Heggie might have gotten in there with quite a bit of speed. Gets himself sideways here. Narrowly avoids big contact there with Winker. Oh, continues to come. Oh, boy, down the racetrack. And Haynes. Poor Matt Schlosser. Man, he has just had trucks careening into him left and right here tonight. I'm sure he thought he was well clear of that one, and out of nowhere, the elbow was dropped.
Yep. Well, Lehman will get a chance to right this wrong from his last restart. Get a better jump. Give himself the inside positioning. It's going to be a natural green-white checkered.
This will be a 3-lap dash, brother.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yes, so it'll be a natural green-white checkered, if I could count. Lehman will have 3 laps to get it done. So will Weiser and Engrav, who have both been chomping at the bit. That is a great restart from Lehman. He might have it.
He's going to have to make it work because Miglin's going to get a big run off the top.
Miglin not going to go down without a fight. Lehman with the nose out ahead.
Lehman is clear.
2 to go. Caution is out. We're going to overtime. Caleb Bensey, Nate Siefker, Brody Gunter all with an incident. Ooh, boy. Miglin not saved by the bell that time. These are some really good race car drivers making some really poor mistakes. Uncharacteristic from the majority of this field to do the things that they've done tonight.
Boy, it's been a while, but James Lehman is going to be back in control of this field.
I don't think anybody's out of this still. You got 22 drivers on the lead lap. Any one of them could win it. We could potentially have 27 cautions in this race. Who knows what can happen between now and then? All I know is that we're in overtime for the second time in North Wilkesboro in as many races. Where's your money?
I mean, I think I'd be a fool not to give it to Lehman right now. He's been very strong here tonight. He's going to get the jump here. 2 to go, a green-white checkered opportunity. But there are some hungry drivers behind him.
Top 6 elbows are out, and they are sharp. Overtime number 1 is Miglin. Not a good start.
Start.
Engrav and Weiser are through, and Miglin will slip out nearly outside of the top 5. Lehman just wants to see the white. And he's not going to. Smith is around. No, he will see the white. Can Will Weiser make a move?
Oh, Weiser
Weiser into the
everything
wall.
he's got up into the wall.
More problems. Checkers are out. It's a run from Weiser, but it's not enough. James Lehman is a winner in Truck 200. Lehman, the short track ace, finally comes through with a first Truck 200 victory. One race after, he pulls a career best second. That is Truck 200 start number 10 and win number 1 for Lehman. He'll be looking awfully good in the point standings after this one. In a day where a lot of the heavy hitters, even in the last couple laps there, found a lot of problems.
He's going to burn down an entire Polish here.
Somewhere Alan Kowicki is smiling, and somewhere Dale Inman is cringing as the engine will expire on that Chevy Silverado. We have a couple of incidents there on the final lap, particularly Heath Smith, and I believe Justin Michael got turned there as well. Messy final couple of laps here in overtime in North Wilkesboro. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, we'll just take a look at the entire restart here. And I mean, this is kicked off. Lehman kind of gets some help from Miglin. Miglin gets a bad restart. Of course, Miglin has not had to really start on the bottom at all. Tough spot to be in going into overtime. Spins the tires. And further back, Brody Gunter, Josh Heggie, they get together. And then Charlie Widener goes for a spin. There's Heath Smith going for a spin through turn 4. I mean, there is all kinds of things going on here. I believe that was Justin Michael taking a trip down to the inside wall as well. Heath Smith with problems further back there that we talked about, and James Lehman is going to be the benefactor of it all.
Yes, indeed. He'll be pumped up, I'm sure. We'll talk to him. We'll talk to your other podium finishers here as well. As Will Weiser will go from 11th to 2nd here tonight. It'll be his first trip to Booth 200 here momentarily. Hunter Engrav, no stranger to the booth. It's his first podium in Truck 200 this season. He will be up here first in the order. Rest of the finishing order, Scott Patton in 4th. Gavin Sanders in 5th. He'll be the points leader after tonight, no doubt about it, as Justin Michael, with that incident on the final lap, got disqualified. So Sanders with the unthinkable P5 after everything that he went through tonight. 6th place for Dan Miglin. He'll be disappointed with that, and that was a strong run for him. Kevin Winkler in 7th. Brandon Groover, Matt Schlosser, Alex Muscarella, who had the night from hell. He somehow finishes in P10. Dakota DeMade in P11. It's Peter Donchak in 12th. I believe that's a career best finish for him in Truck 200. Luke Peterson, Andy Poliski, and Caleb Bensi, your top 15 to pole sitter, with just a myriad of problems here today. We'll walk away with a P15. Heath Smith, Charlie Widener, and Nate Siefker, the rest of your lead lap finishers. Rob Haynes, I'm not too sure, also didn't get disqualified at the end of the race there, so he finishes in 19th, one lap down. Joshua Heggie, likewise in 20th. Likewise for Steve Roman and Justin Michael in 21st and 22nd. Rough final lap for those four. Brody Gunster is running at the end of this one. He will finish in 23rd, and then it is DNFs for Jeremy McKinnon, Dale Weitzer, Joshua Matichek, Cody Claiborne, Mike Milfelt, Cole Maxwell, Brad Slagle, and Kyle Zittel. Oh, boy. Let's, if you're not one of these three drivers, let's just pretend this race never happened. But we'll talk to these three drivers before we lock this one away forever. It's Hunter Endegrav who will come away with the P3 here tonight. Welcome back to Booth 200. Welcome back to the podium.
Thank you.
I don't know what you can say about a night like tonight's, but what I can say is that you were the last driver to have a 0X on the battlefield before some contact there late. I mean, you had speed for the most part tonight. You had track position as well. I'm not sure what else you could say about a night like tonight.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was disappointing because I knew I had the speed, but just track position won the game and everything. It kind of sucked. And I never restarted. James was getting the better line on the starts and everything toward the end. So it kind of sucked. But no, overall, I'll take a third place out of this Wreckfest race. I don't even remember when I ever finished one of these races. So, yeah, no, it's good. And finally, to finish one this season, it's been a horrible start to this season. I feel really bad for my team. But, yeah, no, just happy to get P3. Feels kind of like a win.
Well, you did the team right here tonight. Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on the P3. I mean, you kind of mentioned it, that it's been a tough start to the season for you. You get a nice extended break thanks to some outside forces, and come away with the podium. You got a little momentum going into the next long stretch of races to end the season here.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. Daytona, just bad strategy calling me, and then Atlanta got a little bit involved in the accident, and then Mid-Ohio, my computer didn't want to work, so kind of sucked. My computer was getting fixed, so kind of sucks when you had your tree problem, and I'm like, oh, well, I got my computer back, and now I can't even race. So, at least now, though, there'll be good tracks. Darlington, I love. Probably slow at, but looking forward to it, and there's just some good tracks coming up and everything. I'm hoping I can make it to the playoffs, but there's so many tough people in this field, and I just don't know if I can after 3 kind of starts. But at least finally get kind of the momentum on my side.
You're definitely right. It's a tough field, but tonight you were tougher than pretty much everybody. So great job here tonight. Shout-outs for you before we let you go.
Yeah, my mom and my dad always watching these. You guys for broadcasting and hosting this race. It's going to be fun for whoever's got to watch the replay for this. And then shout out to my team, Team Watson Racing, for picking me up this year. And yeah, that's kind of it.
Alrighty, partner. Thanks for the time. Congrats on the P3. We'll talk to you again here soon.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
And it is a first trip to Booth 200. We'll get to talk to Will Weiser here tonight. A fourth, and a second. It's been a nice 3-race stretch. Welcome to Booth 200. Welcome to the podium.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It's been a good stretch. Other than Daytona, I've had a green flag pit stop error on my part. But yeah, other than that, it's been pretty nice to just kind of run my own race and then find myself competing at the front.
Well, an 8X here tonight. Most nights, that's something to scoff at, but you're in elite company with that one here tonight. It was a wild one, but I mean, you really hardly, even with pit stops, didn't hardly leave the top 10 at all tonight.
Yeah, it's basically, obviously with the restarts, it's hard to move too much, but, I think I got a few X from, one of the first wrecks of the race, so it was it actually didn't end up being a yellow, or no, maybe it did, but I went onto the grass to avoid the guy and kind of clipped his left front to straighten him back out instead of wrecking the field, but, yeah, other than that, just ran my race, and then obviously right there at the end, you got the Dan who's on old tires, so once James cleared him, and then I was behind James for the restart, I knew I had a good shot to leapfrog Hunter and Dan.
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a good race here tonight. I mean, you had to kind of work your way through the field a time or two, just as everybody did. But, I mean, you were strong all throughout this race. Seemed like you were, I mean, amongst the chaos, it seemed like you were pretty comfortable out there. So, I mean, congrats on a good run here. I mean, what are we looking forward to throughout the rest of the season here? What tracks are you looking forward to where you feel like you'll perform the best?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but I think maybe Zandvoort could be a good one. I should have put more time into Mid-Ohio. I made way too many errors and didn't have a great qualifying. I definitely think I could have been, fighting for the win in that one. But other than that, the ovals, I don't feel like I have the knowledge of, tire wear and all that to really compete for the win every time unless I get, some things to fall my way. But I guess, yeah, probably Zandvoort. Do we do the Roval, maybe?
Kansas Roval.
Kansas Roval. So maybe that one too. Those are both tracks I haven't run in a truck, but road courses definitely suit me better.
Well, I think you'll be in good company there. I would imagine most people, especially in a truck, have not run either of those.
Right.
But yeah, strong run this season, firmly in the top 8 as we're headed into Darlington next week. Great stuff. Great to get to talk to you here tonight as well. Anybody you want to shout out or thank here?
I know I got some family that watches the races. I don't know if they watch it every time, but at least from time to time. And then my dad, we talk strategy and try and help each other out to get faster. Dale Weiser, who races. Yeah, shout out to them.
Alrighty, partner. Great run here tonight. Great running thus far this season. We'll look forward to talking to you more as the weeks go on.
Gotcha. Thanks for the stream, guys.
And now it's time. We go from a first-timer to a many-timer, but it's James Lehman with his first win in Truck 200. He will take it tonight at North Wilkesboro, the throwback race. That was a throwback, elbows out, kind of short track run for James Lehman there. How about it?
Oh, man. What a race. You know what I mean? Oh, man. I'm glad it's over, low-key.
Well, I mean, I think we all are, but you're probably glad it's over for a different reason there, having to sweat it out with Weiser and Engrav behind you, work to do in front of you. Absolutely nailing that penultimate restart to get yourself in a position to actually take the lead there late in this one.
Oh, yeah. Dan, for somebody that was on his tires for 103 laps, he kept them pretty well maintained with the tire temp fluctuations and stuff. So I knew if I didn't time it good on a restart that I wouldn't even have a shot. So I got the first one. I think it was 2 cautions before that, the one I actually got it, and then I got it on that second one, and I was like, yippee. So I was pretty happy about that, because then I knew like the next restart we had, I knew he wasn't going to be able, because it's so much harder to maintain your tire spin when you're trying to time the restart than when you're controlling it. So for sure, but he did an amazing job. I'll be honest, I'm just impressed with the tire management by him. Like, to still finish 6th and have 103 lap old tires compared to everybody else had like 50. Yeah, that's pretty good drive by him.
Well, it's funny even because he said when he pit with like 20 other people, he said, I don't think that's the winning strategy. I don't know why I came in. But, I mean, it almost worked out for him. But it works out better for you taking tires there late and getting the track position as well. I mean, I don't really know what to say, because a lot of the attention until late in the race was not on the people at the front of the field. It was in the 3-wide skirmishes in the mid-pack, which you were involved in a couple of those as well, and on the wrong end of a couple of them as well. But, I mean, to even survive to get to this point where you're able to win the races in a race like this is pretty remarkable sometimes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, at the very beginning of the race, both me and Hunter made a terrible decision and to stay out. We learned real quick, couldn't do that again. And then having to work our way up, you had to have patience, and especially in those first 100 laps. But it seemed like the racing got a little bit more ballsy, you can say, in the last 100. So I'm glad I wasn't back there to have to deal with that, because I probably would have lost my cool once or twice. And so I'm just glad I was up here and I didn't really have to deal with that raceness in the back, I guess you could say. So I definitely enjoyed making my way back up to the front and racing all these guys pretty hard and clean. So I don't even think I really touched anybody. To be honest, I think the only time I got hit was by Jeremy. If I actually think about it. Yeah.
Ballsy is one way to phrase that, I guess. But at least it's over. Matt, what you got for the race winner?
Congrats on the race win, James. A caution came out, and from our replay point of view, it seemed like you were out front when the caution flew. So I'm sure that you were kind of thinking the same. I mean, it's got to feel like with all these cautions flying, and it seemed like you might have needed a bit of a longer run to get it done, or at least it seemed like it there for a moment. You had to feel like you kind of got an opportunity taken away from you there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, because he went in the 3, and I could just tell he slid pretty bad, and I honestly thought I had him, and then the caution threw, and I was like, "Are you serious? I don't get it." And so yeah, that one definitely got on my skin a little bit, and then that next restart, I had a terrible restart, and Hunter was stuck on my outside for like a good 4 laps, and I was just sitting there, and I'm like, Hunter, just let me go. We're losing him. I'm like, we're just burning our crap up, just trying to stay in front of one another. And then another caution came, and then I got him, around him finally. But yeah, that definitely inched my skin a little bit because I thought I had it. But I definitely think if we had a long run, I think I would have gotten him because I think his tires would have heated up and got to a terrible point at some point. But you got to work with what you get.
I think this race will be blocked out of the collective memory, if only for the only exception would be the fact that James Lehman walked away with the trophy here at the end of the night. Congrats on the long-awaited first victory on a Monday. Let's get you some shout-outs before we let you go.
First and foremost, thank you guys for putting this on. It sucks that it's ending after this season, but I'm glad that I get to participate in it. And you guys always do an amazing broadcast. And thanks to everybody at MaxV that comes out and races this and supports it. And yeah, if anybody's looking forward for some super speedway fun racing, check us out Thursday and hosted at 8 p.m. Eastern on our MaxV Winter Series. We'll be doing trucks at Daytona again. So, appreciate you guys.
I've had a couple of things come up recently, but if you don't mind me racing on the controller, I might be able to be there Thursday. We'll have to see. But,
I'll be impressed.
He's pretty good on a controller, I can't lie.
I was gonna say that's roots racing for me, but we'll have to blow the dust off of it and see. But great job here tonight. Congrats to you on the long-awaited first Monday victory, and keep it up. Maybe we'll talk to you again next week at Darlington.
All right, thanks guys. Take care.
Oh boy, let's just get out of town here. Congrats to the podium finishers, and everybody else was here as well. Matt, let's send her home.
Yeah, congrats to those folks, and thanks to Pamela Ingrab, Hunter Leach, Jeremy McKinnon, Zach Lockett, Indica Scarlett, Corey Rutherford, Bailey Matichek, JJ Wang, and I believe that was it. So thank you guys for tuning in for this one. It was certainly an interesting one throughout the night. Lots to pay attention to, and the finish was good, though. So thank you guys for tuning in to all the drivers that were here tonight. Tommy, let's send her home.
Well, we don't got much coming up, but we do have Friday night and Saturday nights. It is the, I don't even know what year. We'll just call it the 2025 Motor Stardom. I don't know. The years are a bit wonky in there. I think there's one more year than there actually are races. So there's probably a rain out in there or something. Who knows? But regardless, it's the Motor Stardom Daytona Charity Shootouts. We'll have the LCQs on Friday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time is when we'll drop the green flag on that one. So we'll start the stream a little bit earlier than that. That is open to anybody except for the folks that are locked into the show already. On Saturday nights, some of the biggest and brightest from not only Turn 200, but also the real-life racing world. Some NASCAR drivers going to be throwing down, as they always do, for charity. A couple of the names that have been floated, a couple of new ones, a couple of returning ones. Going to be an exciting field, as always. Looking forward to that Saturday nights. I believe also 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for that one as well. But definitely Friday. Get here. Get yourself either a front row seat or get yourself into the open qualifiers. We'll have some heat races and an LCQ. It'll be a great time. It always is. I'm very much looking forward to that. The next time we'll be on air after Saturday will be Monday again For Truck 200 from Darlington, it's the Max V Southern 500. Sorry, the Max V Southern 200. From Darlington, it'll be the first and only time Truck 200 races at the Lady in Black. So that will be an interesting follow-up to an absolute disaster of an evening here tonight. But thank you to everybody that came out and raced here tonight. Surely do appreciate it. Even if the results were not great here tonight, everybody at least gave it a shot. So we really appreciate them and their continued support of racing here on Turn 200. Thank you to everybody that was coming and hanging out with us here tonight. Thank you to Garrett Rainey, who's under the weather here tonight and continuing to do race admin as well. And thank you to Matt Williamson as well. Hope everybody had happy holidays and happy New Year as well. We'll talk to you in 2025. That's all we got for you here tonight. Till we meet again, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long from North Wilkesboro Speedway, and congratulations to James Lehman on a first career Truck 200 victory.
This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.